What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of FTB Infinity Evolved Expert Mode. Oh yeah, guys. Pretty cool classes, huh? Yeah? Okay, fine, whatever. I was just messing around with the bibliocraft stuff over here, the typesetting table and the printing press. We were looking at these things a couple episodes ago, trying to copy the Soulbound enchantment. Well, to copy Soulbound, it works okay. We're getting a lot of the Soulbound enchants from our mob farm. Yeah, getting pieces of armor with Soulbound on it, we're disenchanting it, so we're getting them this way. So that's pretty cool. But what's really awesome about the printing press and the typesetting table so you can copy the books, what's good about that is when you get an enchantment that's kind of rare, like Reaper 3, for instance. We had one of these, and I copied this, and when you do a copy, you can get a total of 3 books. You use the book to get the chase, the copy that you can print onto other ones, right? So I lost one, and then I got 3 back. So anyway, this is one of the copies, and then 2 of them I combined on an anvil, and I got Reaper 4. So I did this again. I got 2 additional ones. I combined them and got a Reaper 5. So yeah, it's a pretty cool way to get the highest tier of different enchantments. So I do like that. So I made a few Reaper 5 books, and I made a few Sharpness 5 books. And I was trying to think of all the different ones that we should get, that we should have like a large quantity of. The reason why I'm wanting to do this is because we need to get a large amount of Wither Skeleton Skulls. So we're going to want to set up another mob farm similar to what we have already. Currently killing our mobs over here with the Looting 3, the Reaper 5, Sharpness 5, all of this. I think I'm going to turn this mob farm off. In fact, let's do that now. I'm going to turn this mob farm off, and I'm going to collect those spikes down there. Yeah, I'm going to wait for this powered spawner. Yeah, that's out of power. All right, let's turn this all off. Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll kill that creeper, whatever. But yeah, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to grab our good spike. One of those spikes had like the best enchantments, and the other one had kind of like okay enchantments. It wasn't the best. But yeah, I'm going to take this spike down here. Let's grab this. Ouch, hey, stop touching me. Get out of here. Yeah, we're going to grab this. We're going to disenchant and get that Looting 3 off there because we don't have any looting books, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm going to get that Looting 3 off there. We're going to make some copies, and then I'm going to make another one of these spikes. What I'd like to do is set up a Wither Skeleton farm, or at least modify your current one so we can kill the Wither Skeletons pretty quickly. We want looting on there. If there was a way we could get beheading, this would be better. But the Reaper 5 is what I'm really interested in. I would like to get some Wither Skeleton souls so we can use the Draconic Evolution Stabilize spawner, which can spawn mobs ridiculously fast. Yeah, the more of those souls we get, the more of those spawners we can have. Yeah, and then all of our Wither Skeleton Skull problems will be solved. So let's put the spike over here in our disenchanter. I haven't seen if we can do this. I assume we can. Looks like it's working. Yeah, I was able to remove the haste 2 off my boots, and then I copied that and I turned it into a haste 3. So yeah, I was able to pull all those enchantments off and then re-enchant. So yeah, I know for sure we can do that with the armor anyway, but I wasn't sure if we could do it with the spike. I assumed we can, and it looks like we can. So yeah, let me go ahead and get the Looting 3 off here. I'm going to copy that so we have some extras and we can put that on other things for later, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so here we are at a Wither Skeleton farm. We're going to make some changes to this. We're looking at collecting the mob souls so we can do the Draconic spawn or whatever. A little while ago I came back to here and I removed the vanilla skeleton spawner we had, and I replaced that with a powered spawner from Ender.io. Yeah, so I kind of rearranged the room a little bit. I lowered the ceiling since we didn't need it as tall. We put the spawner in here. I rerouted the redstone cabling and all of this stuff. Yeah, I just made a few changes here so I can flip that lever on and we get skeletons that much faster, but even still, it's not as fast as I would like it. One of the problems I have, though, is the way this is set up. I try and attack the monsters, and they're back here against this wall, and I can't quite hit them. So Yeah, I mean, there's some problems here and some things I'd like to do. I don't really like the vacuum hopper in the floor because skeletons land on it and then it looks kind of weird, like they're partially falling through. There's just a few more things that I'd like to change on this thing since I first set this up earlier on in the series. So we have our diamond spike here. This has sharpness 5, looting 3, and reaper 5 on it. We're looking to get the wither skeleton mob soul, and then we can look at setting up a really fast spawner for these guys. And then as far as killing them, at that point, I don't know if we'll still do the spike or something else. I did bring some conveyor belts so we can make sure the monsters, when they're down here, get pushed into the spike. I brought some more item ducts so we can move the vacuum hopper from down there to probably the side or something. Yeah, there's just a few changes here that I'd like to make, so I'm gonna get on that. I'm also using an experience obelisk now. We made a second one here so we can suck up the XP into this instead of having to have a drum here. One of the problems I saw with the way this was set up is we're pulling the XP out of the vacuum hopper, but this was not an opaque one, so it'd make lighting updates, which, you know, isn't that big of a deal, but just watching things get brighter and darker all the time is kind of annoying. But yeah, let me make a few changes here. I'm going to kind of rearrange this a little bit, and we'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, well I made some changes here, and one of the best changes that I made to this thing is I made the drop chute only 1 block wide, 1 block deep, I mean. That way the mobs aren't moving back and forth or whatever, they are falling down, they hit the conveyor belt or the spike. If they hit the conveyor belts, they just get pushed into the spike, but either way, they're not dying on impact, they are dying to the spike, which does have the Reaper enchant on there and the looting 3. I did put in a carpenter's door right here, a little secret entrance, so we can get back behind and see everything that's happening back here. So yeah, we just have the one vacuum hopper right there that is pulling in the experience and sending the experience into this experience obelisk right here. So immediately getting rid of the experience and just putting into that unit. All the items get put through this impulse item duct, and then we have a filter here to filter out the stone swords, bows, and arrows. Things that are just kind of junk that we don't care about, so that immediately goes to the trash can. Everything else goes up to our chest up front. So what we're kind of waiting on right now, oh my goodness, can I get through here, please? What we're waiting on right now is to get a mob soul. We're getting a few wither skeleton skulls, not as much as I would like from this setup. It was way faster to hit them with the cleaver, that's for sure. So we might look at a way setting up like an autonomous activator or whatever. With the cleaver, we might even look at making one of those. Oh, look at that, we got a skeleton mob soul. We might look at making one of those unbreakable ones, completely made out of obsidian. I don't know. Those are things we can look at in the future if we can't get the skeleton skulls as fast as we need. Yeah, I'm still waiting for a wither skeleton mob soul to appear. I'm surprised we got the skeleton, but not the wither skeleton. Hopefully we still can get wither skeleton mob souls. That's something I never even thought about. I mean, they could have made it so you can only get the skeletons. But anyway, let's go ahead and turn this off for a moment. I want to show you guys some changes that I made up above as well. Yeah, one of the better changes that I made is I made it so the redstone signal affects the spawner directly. So we don't have to wait for it to run out of power before it turns off. Oh, look at that. We did get the wither skeleton. Awesome. So that is really, really good. That'll allow this to go much faster. So yeah, as I was over here, I was doing some testing. I flipped the lever here and I was spawning some skeletons, and I saw that they were hitting their head in the ceiling. So they were taking like half a heart of damage up here, and their health was just a little inconsistent. So I decided to move some things around. I put the tesseract on the bottom. This thing is always on, providing power. I changed the spawner here so it's only active without a redstone signal. Yeah, and we just brought the conduit down here. I think this is working pretty well. There might be more space in here than what's needed, but yeah, it's getting the job done for sure. Like I said, I raised the ceiling up one, then I reversed the order of the tesseract and the spawner. Yeah, so now that we have one of those skeleton spawners, the wither skeleton souls, now that we got one of these, we can set up a stabilized mob spawner from Draconic Evolution. And with the upgrades, we can make a spawn really fast, and we can also make a spawn when we're not nearby, which is going to be amazing. So that's probably going to be the next thing we're going to look at doing. Let me go ahead and button this up real quick. Is a piece of glass in here? Yes, it is. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this has turned out. I like the little secret entrance over here. Pretty simple setup, and just spent a little bit of time trying to clean this thing up and make it a little bit better than what we had it before. So let's grab this guy. We're going to want a lot of these mob souls because I think the next step is we're going to set one up temporarily so we can collect a few of these skulls. I'm sorry, a few of these souls. And then, yeah, we're going to look at setting up like a permanent mob spawner for these guys. So let's go home for a moment. Okay, so in the Draconic Evolution book here, if we go in here, we can look for the stabilized mob spawner. Somewhere in here, I think it might be towards the bottom. Where are you, mob grinder? Stabilized mob spawner. Here we go. So this says to get started, right click any vanilla spawner with a Draconic Core to stabilize it. You now have an empty transportable spawner that you can pick up with Draconic tools. That might be key. I don't know if we can pick that up without a Draconic pickaxe or something. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Use any mob soul on the spawner to change its type to that mob. Yeah, we can put a Wyvern Core in there, which upgrades it to a tier 2 and increases the spawn and speed. Tier 3 increases the spawn and speed again. Another star removes the 16 block requirement, and then a notch apple spawns mobs regardless of light level. Ooh, hi. When breaking it, you get back everything except the mob soul. So yeah, that's definitely something we're going to want is extra mob souls. Okay, so it says only if we have Draconic tools. Well, I think we're going to try it out with something else. First of all, just to double check that. Now, once again, this says we have to use a Draconic Core. So the Draconic Core, this is the cheaper one. Yeah, just diamond, gold, and draconium ingots. Let's go ahead and make one of, let's go ahead and make one of those real quick. Okay, so we're gonna find ourselves a spawner. I got a few of them on my list. In fact, we could probably go over to those witch spawners. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go over to these witch spawners over here by our mob farm. We really don't need 2 of those, and if we can get the mob souls, which we already have, and turn these into stabilized spawners, that'll be pretty cool. All right, so if we take this and click it, stabilized mob spawner, mob type witch. Ooh. Okay, so I didn't know that that actually kept it in there. All right, so it said that we need to use Draconic tools. Let's just try like a pickaxe. Stabilized mob spawner. Okay, well, I guess we don't need to use Draconic Evolution tools to pick this up. Yeah, the Endearing pickaxe worked just fine. I don't know if that's Silk Touch or what. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so now that we have this thing, we should be able to put that mob soul in there. Let's grab some of the upgrades. And then I can replace that spawner that's in the nether with this spawner, which should be much faster. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that done, and we'll be right back, guys. Alright, guys, well, we're going to try this together, since it's been a while since I've done one of these things. But anyway, I have the Nether Star, the Notch Golden Apple, the Wyvern Core, and the Awakened Core. So we have all the upgrades available for this. Let's go ahead and add these on here. I don't know if you have to do them in order. I assume you probably do. So there's that. There's the Notch Apple and the Nether Star. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be really fast. I do believe... That looks kind of weird. I do believe that these spawners are affected by redstone signal. I'm pretty sure that's how we've turned these things on and off in the past, so this should still work, hopefully. Yeah, the redstone signal from the conduit should be touching this thing. So let's put the skull in there, or the skeleton. Yeah, look at that. It is not spinning. Cool. So I do believe if we go down here, let's put all the glass in. That, we got one more piece right there. Cool. So if I do this, we should be getting a ridiculous amount of those skeletons down here. Now I do think that this is going to be spawning really fast, and they're going to be clogging up up there. So it might be a better idea to put one of those large draconic portals underneath and spawn these guys, or I guess have them go through the portal and have them like warp in a spot where they're on top of a spike, instead of having them drop and then go through a conveyor belt. I think that might be a better option here. But yeah, we are definitely collecting a lot of experience. We are collecting a lot of these skeletons really fast. So we should be seeing some of these mob souls really, really quickly. Another thing is, since we are using the Wither Skeleton mob soul, we should not be seeing any regular skeletons, which we haven't seen yet. So that's really awesome. Yeah, it might be better. I'm trying to think. If I switch this up so they just fall down a 1x1 directly on top of the spike, or like I was saying, we could use the teleporter, the Draconic Evolution, like Mistcraft Portal kind of a thing, to warp them so they're on top of a spike. Yeah, there's a few other options we can try here, but the main thing I would like is to collect a few more of these mob souls from these Wither Skeletons so we can, you know, pick up that spawner, move it somewhere else, do whatever we want. So yeah, that's the next step. All right, let me get on that, guys, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, well I made yet another change to this, so all the skeletons up there, they get funneled down to like a 1x1 area and they land on top of the spike like we were talking about before. So I can go and flip on this lever, they start spawning like crazy up there and they start streaming down here in just seconds. Yeah, there they go. This does pick up speed, and we have so far collected 12 of the mob souls, so I think we're doing pretty good. We haven't collected that many Wither Skeleton skulls. I'm actually kind of disappointed on how many of those we're getting for how fast we're spawning these guys. Now, another thing is, these guys are bunching up upstairs. Let me go ahead and turn this back off. We'll let all these guys filter through. They are bunching up here. Like, if we come up here, we can hear a lot of them. Yeah, we really do need a better method of getting these guys down to where we want to kill them than using these conveyor belts. They try and fight against them, and they just kind of hang out up here for a while. It's just not good. All right, Magnet. All right, Magnet, stop it. So I have another lever up here so we can kind of see what's going on. Let me get back down. This is my little area to get through, which kind of works sometimes, doesn't work other times. Yeah, the Wither Skeletons, I think, are 2.5 blocks tall, so they cannot fit through a 2-block tall area. So we don't have to worry about those guys coming through. But yeah, let me go and turn that lever off down there. We'll turn the one off up here in just a second. And we can see like how fast these guys are in fact spawning up here. So yeah, look at that. It spawns, I don't even know how many that was, like 10 at a time. Yeah, we're getting all of these guys up here and then they bunch up. It's just not really good when you try and get like a bunch of mobs to go down a 1x1 area like that. So what I'd like to do is remove the floor, get rid of these conveyor belts, put down one of those portals or something. So when they spawn, they immediately fall into the portal, they get warped to where they should be falling down, and then they fall down from that warped position. Yeah, I think that's what would be the most ideal situation for something like this. So that might be the next thing we work on. But another thing is, we are kind of at the point where we can move on beyond this kind of a spawner. Yeah, we have those mob souls from these Wither Skeletons, so and we can spawn them in the overworld now, so there's really no point in continuing and messing with this thing any further. But yeah, that's where I kind of have this spawner set up right now. So all the skeletons come down over here, they get moved over this way and then down and then over. It's just not that great, to be honest. We can do much better than this, and I kind of want to do much better than this. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave this area. We really should set up a proper mob spawner in the overworld where we can spawn in any kind of mob that we want and use like redstone signal to turn the spawners on and off depending on what it is that we need at any given moment. So if like we need a lot of blaze rods, we can turn on the blazes or whatever. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do. But for right now, I think we're going to leave this thing alone. Yeah, I did work on it a bit and we've made some changes here and it's better than what it was, but we definitely are able, or we're going to be able to move on to a better killing and spawning chamber than this. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at something else. So earlier today I went to the nether and I cleared out a lot of the soul sand that's nearby where we spawn into the nether. So our bottom 4 autonomous activators down here are completely full with 9 stacks of soul sand each. So we can spawn in a whole lot of wither bosses. We're just lacking the skulls. But we have enough to spawn a stack plus 9 wither bosses. Yeah, that's quite a lot. What is that? 71 more? No, 73 more. 73 more wither bosses. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of nether stars and we'll be able to create all the other things that we need. I think right now the next thing I need to work on is collecting a little bit more of that awakened draconium and spawning in some more of the end dragons. Yeah, I think that is gonna be our next step. But for right now, I think I need to go ahead and spawn in these wither bosses. I did set this timer down to 1.5 seconds for the interval, so we are going to be spawning them in a little bit faster, so it's going to take, you know, about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes to get all these bosses through and killed, which is not too bad. But let's go ahead and start spawning these guys in, get that taken care of, collect all those stars, and we'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so here we are back in the end. The next step that I really want to get done is to get some more of the Awakened Draconium. We need many blocks in order to make the RF Tools Dimension Builder, and that's a place that I want to go to. So anyway, let us go ahead and put the Resurrection Stone in here and click it. There we go. Yeah, we're going to resurrect the dragon for the second time now. Now people are telling me that I can place the charged draconium blocks in the air when the dragon dies. I don't know if we get like a second use, like if we can use the heart then and then it drops as an item, then we can blow it up and use it a second time, or if that just, you know, makes it so we don't have to use the TNT and blow it up during that part of the ritual. Anyway, I'm kind of curious to see how this is all gonna go. But yeah, we need to spawn this dragon in a few more times. It's supposed to level up and get harder each additional time we do this. So this should be level 2. The last time we did it, it only took 2 hits to kill. So I don't expect it's going to be much different this time. But yeah, let's get an angel block ready. We're going to want 4 of these things, and we're going to need 16 of these cores for after we kill the dragon. So yeah, yeah, the particles are doing its thing. We should start seeing some particles shooting up into the sky. Man, that's a lot of lightning, isn't it? Oh, man. Oh, man. Maybe I should get, like, indoors or something. This is getting kind of scary. So, yeah, we got the particles going inside. And we should see the dragon. There it is. All right, so this is level 2. Come here. Don't fly away. Come here. Okay. I think that was one shot. Let's place this a little bit closer. So there's 16 draconium cores. All right, and then let's place down these. Okay, so like I said, I don't know if this just makes it so we don't have to blow up the heart later, or if we get 2 uses out of it so we can do a total of 8 per dragon kill. That's something we're gonna figure out here in just a second. No, it looks like that just makes it so we don't have to use the TNT. Okay, well, I guess that's cool. Yeah, I suppose if we're doing this a lot, that just speeds up the process that much more. Yeah, I was kind of hoping we'd be able to get 2 charges out of each time, but no, it doesn't look like that's the case. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and fight this dragon a few more times. If anything interesting happens, I'll bring you guys back in. But yeah, this is getting kind of expensive. Making all of these charged draconium blocks. Yeah, we're wasting a lot of power at the base. We really need to get a big reactor online, and eventually I'd like to get the crazy draconic evolution power storage thing going. But yeah, let me go ahead, spawn the dragon back in, and we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, so here we go. Here is the 3rd respawn of the Ender Dragon. It's looking about the same. I guess we could use this guy to clear out all the clouds. Is he moving faster, or she? Is she moving faster? Feels like it's moving faster. I could be wrong, though. Oh, you know what? I never grabbed the dragon egg before. Let me go ahead and move this. Okay. What's up, dragon? Oh, yeah, look at that. It is taking more hits this time. There we go. Definitely took more hits that time. It's interesting. I just let all the experience go away here for a second. Cool. All right, let's drop these. Those get sucked right in. And put down our blocks. Cool. So yeah, we'll go ahead and collect the experience. We'll get some of the Awakened Draconium there. Very good. All right, guys, so here goes. I think this is level 4. What's up, guy? What's up? Oh, 2 shots, 2 shots. Not too bad, not too bad. Cool. So we got this one done pretty quickly. Yeah, there's the heart right here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to bring the wyvern cores, didn't I? Or I guess the draconic cores. Yeah, the problem is right now, I guess we're just going to collect this heart. The problem is right now is we are running low on diamonds. In fact, we are running so low that I had to set up the UU matter to produce diamonds. Yeah, we had enough right now to spawn the dragon once more, which I might just do and then save the hearts and then do all this other stuff later. But yeah, we need to go either mining or we need to set up a quarry. We might do the quarry. But yeah, we are currently out of the diamonds, which is kind of an issue since each one of these things requires a lot of diamonds to make. And then, yeah, then it's 4 blocks of diamonds to spawn the dragon every single time. It's a lot of experience. All right. Well, I tell you guys what, I think we're going to wrap the episode up here. I'm going to spawn in the Ender Dragon once more, I think. I might record it, I might not. We've seen it a few times already. It's nothing spectacular. It's supposed to be getting harder every time. It feels about the same, so I don't know about that. But yeah, we need to collect a lot of diamonds. I need to get a quarry going or something so we can get that happening. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap up the episode here for today, guys. We need to look at making a much larger mob farm, like I was talking about earlier, one that we can say, all right, make wither skeletons or do blaze or whatever. Yeah, I want like a large area that we can spawn a whole bunch of mobs, and then we're gonna have to set up a proper area for them to be killed in. Probably make another Draconic Evolution mob grinder or something along those lines. We'll see. But yeah, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.